On a quiet night in 1878, three unexplained knocks shattered the silence inside Esther Cox's bedroom. She thought the sound had stopped, until the knocking came back from the other side of the wall. Before the terror began, Esther Cox lived an ordinary life in the quiet town of Amherst, Nova Scotia. Esther lived with her sister's family, where life was simple, peaceful, and seemed no different from any other home. Inside the Teed home, everything felt peaceful. Just another ordinary morning in Amherst. Like any other day, Esther went about her daily routine, never imagining that her ordinary life was about to become one of history's most famous mysteries. As Esther made her way home, she noticed a man waiting silently beside the lonely road. Summoning all her strength, Esther broke free and fled. By the time she reached home, she was terrified, exhausted, and no longer the same person. Olive quietly led Esther inside. Whatever had happened on that lonely road had left her completely shaken. The moment Daniel saw Esther's face, he knew something was terribly wrong. Yet no one could imagine the nightmare that was only beginning.
It's all right, Esther. Rest now.
Esther, let's get you some rest. I believe you simply need to rest, unaware that the most disturbing events were still to come.
Believing Esther simply needed rest, Olive quietly left the room, hoping a peaceful night would ease her troubled mind. Alone in the silence, Esther heard a single knock from the wall beside her bed, and this time, there was no one else in the room. Esther searched for the source of the sound, but the old wooden wall offered no explanation. Just when Esther believed the nightmare was overcome, the knocking returned, louder than ever before. This time, Esther was not the only one who heard it. The impossible sound had reached the hallway. I found nothing.
I could have sworn I heard something here.
But there is nothing to find. The knocking stopped as suddenly as it had begun. But neither Esther nor Olive could explain what they had just witnessed. The violent knocking had shaken the entire house. Within moments, the rest of the family rushed upstairs, desperate to understand what had happened. I heard a knocking, sir.
I know.
But there is no space behind it.
Could something be inside the wall, Daniel?
No, Mrs. Teed, I cannot explain it. Daniel was certain there was nothing hidden inside the wall. But the moment he stepped away, the mysterious knocking returned from the very same place. This is no ordinary sound. Someone else must witness what is happening. With Daniel gone, Esther and Olive were left alone once again. But the silence would not last for long. The silence was almost as terrifying as the knocking itself. Every passing second felt longer than the last. Determined to find another witness, Daniel quietly left the room to call for help. With Daniel gone to find another witness, Esther and Olive were left alone. The silence inside the room felt heavier than ever. Then, without warning, heavy footsteps suddenly echoed from just outside the bedroom. A moment later, the door opened. It was Daniel. The footsteps they had heard belonged to him. But the mystery was far from over. News of the mysterious knocking spread quickly through Amherst. Soon, neighbors and townspeople gathered at the Teed house. Just when everyone thought the mystery was over, the knocking returned. But this time, it was coming from beneath the bed. Daniel carefully looked beneath the bed. But there was nothing there. The mysterious sound had no visible source. Just when they thought they understood where the sound was coming from, the knocking returned from another part of the room.
With so many witnesses now hearing the impossible sounds, Daniel knew the mystery could no longer be ignored.
Word is the knocking lasted all night.
The Teeds girl. They say she's possessed.
We must find out what happened.
By the next morning, word of the strange knocking had spread throughout Amherst. Curious neighbors began gathering, eager to learn the truth for themselves. By the following morning, word of the strange events had spread throughout Amherst. Curious neighbors began gathering outside the Teed family home. As reports of the mysterious knocking spread across Amherst, Daniel asked the local constable to investigate the strange events for himself. With the mystery growing beyond the family, the local constable was called to investigate the strange events for himself. The constable expected to uncover a simple explanation. Instead, he heard the mysterious knocking with his own ears. The constable carefully searched every room inside the house, looking for anything that might explain the mysterious events. He then searched the outside of the house, examining every wall and every corner. But nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Despite every witness, every search, and every investigation, no one ever discovered the true source of the mysterious knocking. More than a century later, the Great Amherst Mystery remains one of Canada's most famous unsolved cases.